think that, for good or evil, our ability to feel loyalty and concern for increasingly larger groups, our obsession with certain belief systems, our capacity to imagine the future, our power to transform the world and to search the cosmos for answers. The very name we gave to our own species, Homo sapiens, Latin for wise persons, all of it comes down to nothing more than a single rung on our tiny DNA ladder to the stars. For much of the last hour on the cosmic calendar, for all but the last minute, our ancestors were hunters and gatherers, living in small bands. You know, when people just shrug and say, chalk it up to human nature, it puzzles me. They're usually talking about our greed, our arrogance, our violence. But we've been human for at least a couple 100,000 years. For most of that time, we weren't that way at all. How do we know? From the accounts of explorers and anthropologists encountering surviving hunter-gatherer societies across 4 centuries. There are, of course, exceptions, especially in the circumstances of extreme scarcity. But the overwhelming consensus paints a picture of humans who lived in relative harmony with each other and the environment. We shared the little we had because we knew that our survival depended on the group. We didn't prize wealth beyond our needs because possessions would just weigh us down as we wandered. We were different from our non-human primate ancestors, with their alpha males bullying their way to dominance. And where was God? Everywhere. In the rocks and in the rivers, in the trees and the birds and every living thing. That was human nature for a couple of 100,000 years. I'm standing on the southern tip of Africa and imagining what it was like sometime in the last hundreds of thousands of years. Back then, Africa was home to all the world's Homo sapiens, all 10,000 of them. If you were an extraterrestrial on a survey mission, you might have thought we were an endangered species. Someday soon, there will be 10 billion of us. What happened? How did we become the globe-girdling, space-traveling species that we are today? Welcome to the first laboratory on Earth. We're in Blombos Cave, where the evolution of the mind made a great leap. Our ancestors were conducting chemistry experiments here with a mineral rich in iron, ochre. They used it to decorate objects with bits of red color, but it may have also had other uses, to preserve animal hides, or as a medicine, or as a way to sharpen their tools, or maybe as an insect repellent. And they engraved the ochre with symbols, something completely new on the planet Earth. Art. Not to be eaten, not to provide shelter, but to symbolize something. Or just to be. Looks a little bit like a ladder or a double helix. Whatever it was supposed to be, it's the earliest remnant we have of human culture. We had found a way to leave behind something distinctly human, a means to communicate, however enigmatically, to you and me, 100,000 years away. A great power was discovered here in Blombos Cave.